Hi, we've gotten a lot of requests for instructions on how to do just a basic French braid. So we're going to show you today how to do that. Now you have options with this. You can start by having a little elastic holding some hair to start you out. That's a good way when you're beginning or practicing because it will hold the initial start of your braid in place. You can also start all the way up here at the front of the hair and gather all these sides in before you get to your ear. But today we're going to start by gathering the hair from ear to ear, just to give ourselves a nice big fat chunk of hair to work with. Now I have never French braided on an angle before, so we're going to see how this goes. And a good tip is to always French braid on wet hair. That hair is going to stay in place easier, and it's going to be much easier to gather in and work with too. Another big tip is to always have your comb, because you're going to want to smooth out all the little portions that you pull into your plaits on your braid. So go ahead and smooth all that hair back. So that it's nice and flat on top. Now what you're going to do is separate this into 3 equal pieces and do one initial plait. Now a plait is when you move all 3 pieces. So we're pulling that outside over and then this outside over. So we have done one plait. That's moving all the positions once. Now what we're going to do is take a little bit of hair, I like to use my comb so that it's smooth, and gather it in to that outside plait. See how my fingers were holding this? We'll call this number 1, number 2, number 3. I gathered a little bit of hair on the side and pulled it right in with number 3. Now I'm going to switch hands. So I put number 3 first, number 2 in the middle, then number 1. I'm going to take my comb, gather some hair right in to number 1 now. Now that we have added hair from both sides, we add only to our end pieces. Now we can plait again. So we're going to shift all of those pieces one more time. I'll put them between the hands. Now I always have my comb to always smooth because we don't want to have those little bumps coming out. So now we've got our pieces again, 1, 2, and 3. Take the comb. Now you can add in sections as large or as small as you would like. I'm doing pretty large ones just for the sake of time. So I've added it into my number 3 strand. I'm going to go ahead and switch those strands over to the other hand so that I can gather in on this side as well. Gather it right into that outside strand of braid. Now we've got our 3 braids again. Go ahead and plait once to shift all those pieces. Good, there we go. Just continue doing that down the hair. I'm going to switch my hands. Add some hair over into plait number 1, or into section number 1. Comb it nice and smooth. And then just plait. Now I always keep smoothing out those strands because we want those to look really nice when all is said and done. Okay, this is going to be our last section of hair. 1 on each side. Plait it in. Now I'm going to take my comb and smooth out these strands that I'm working with, just so that they're nice and even, don't have too many lumps. And then go ahead and just continue plaiting these braids. Now that we've added all of our hair in, we don't need to add any more, so we're just going to finish the braid off with a regular 3-strand braid. Now, if you were doing a Dutch braid, the concept is basically the same, But instead of pulling the strands in like I'm doing here, in, over, in, you would actually be going under, up, under, up. And so I'll have to maybe make a video on how to do that Dutch braid. Make it a little bit easier for you to see. Once you get down to the bottom of your braid, you're just going to go ahead and add an elastic to secure that hair. And then you can see on the sides how it's just pulled those strands in. It's really easy to start from ear to ear with that hair because it gives it kind of a nice casual look on the back. But that's how you French braid. Now it's going to take practice, so keep practicing. You can divide the head in half and have 2 sections so that you've got a smaller amount of hair to work with. Just practice French braiding those smaller sections. The biggest tip is practice, practice, practice. The more you do it, it's going to get easier and easier in your hands, and you're going to be able to do it tighter and tighter. And that's how you do a French braid.